Let's bring in Texas Republican Congressman McCaul. Congressman, we should first let our viewers know we're expecting the vote from the Senate within the hour. But I think initially here, is this a vote of confidence in your opinion that these measures are going to be enough? Now we're hearing that Treasury is floating this idea, and Fox Business reported that, and we have the document actually, that we're talking about direct payments to Americans. $250 billion going to Americans April 6th in the form of checks. Now the $250 billion May 18th direct to the people out there that need it. What do you make of where we're at right now?
Well, we're in a crisis. It's a global pandemic. The next 2 months are going to be critical. I do think, when I talk to Larry Kudlow and others, that the fundamentals in the economy are still very strong. We're going to get through this, but in the short term, we have to provide a stimulus to particularly the workers without pay, the medium to low income workers that really live paycheck to paycheck, have hourly wages. That's where this stimulus of $500 billion of direct checks is going to be targeted towards. I do think it will have obviously a short-term effect on the markets. I think they'll respond positively. There's $300 billion in small business relief as well, which I think will be very important. And then finally, Cheryl, there's going to be about $200 billion for impacted industries like airlines and hospitality, which, I'm sitting here in Houston, Texas. There's not one restaurant or bar open here. It's all shut down.
No, Congressman, it's heartbreaking. We're seeing it across the country. The service sector, service workers, it's not just bartenders and waitresses. It's nail shops that are closed. I mean, we're seeing this everywhere. But at the same time, we have to, I would hope, have this conversation now about the federal deficit. We already, as Edward Lawrence just reported, we were coming into this crisis with a large deficit. That's up to you. That is up to Congress when we get through this crisis to manage with what is certainly going to be a big debt taken on by this country. When do you start having those conversations?
Well, there are many of us who have tried to have this for many years. It's always politically taboo to talk about, and no one has the political courage to take it on. I think, Paul Ryan many years ago had a plan to reform entitlements to save them. And, about 2/3 of our budget is on autopilot. It's mandatory spending. When people look at what Congress appropriates, we're really talking about 1/3 of what the budget really is, and that's national defense. That's everything. And so I do think we're going to have an adult conversation about this at some point. I mean, we're also going to have an adult conversation about where this all started in the first place, and that is in Wuhan, China, and the irresponsible wet market practice in China, where we've seen, this is not our first movie, right? We had SARS come out of there. We had H1N1, swine flu, bird flu, and now coronavirus. When is this going to stop?
Yeah. No, that's a great point, Congressman. And I think all these conversations will be had, we hope, sooner rather than later, which means that we have gotten through this crisis. We are anxious to do so. We will weather the storm together. Congressman, thank you very much for being here. We appreciate it.
Oh, thank you, Cheryl. I appreciate it, too. Thank you.